This is the talk of Music City Real Estate.
Welcome back to another episode of the Talk of Music City Real Estate,
where we educate and motivate all things real estate.
My name is Monte Mohr with Realty One Group Music City.
Hey, and I'm Carrie Ann with CMG Financial and my mortgage team.
Every week we'll be posting a new episode of chock full of Nashville real estate value.
Yes, and you can follow along and subscribe at talkmusiccity.com.
Got a question for us? Ask away at questions at talkmusiccity.com.
Monty!
Carrie Ann Sear.
We are back. We're back with a very talented, the one, the only.
And the amazing Chrissy Amundson.
Thank you.
Drum roll.
Happy to be here.
Superwoman.
We love when you're here.
I love being here.
I feel like there are always really good topics when we're here because you and I seem to channel the same stuff.
Bring a little inspiration.
Yeah.
You guys can run together, you know. I mean, you could...
I want to be Carrie Ann when I grow up. Is that a thing?
I've always been glad that Carrie Ann never got a real estate license because I think that could hurt them.
I love your impact project. That's one thing that's been on my list.
Yeah.
And so you inspire me to want to add that. And so you've got a big heart, and I love that you do that.
Thank you.
So this one, I'd like to start with the topic that we go into end of every year to inspire people for the front part of the next year.
Yeah.
And that is to get quiet, listen to your heart, take this real seriously, and ask what one word. But let me read this because I want to make sure everybody gets the impact of this. Please don't take this lightly, guys. If you're watching this, please, there's a lot of success represented around here, and so when we say something's really, really important, there's good chance there's really, really important, so consider it anyhow. So it's important enough, I want to read some of the concept here so that we don't miss out. It says 9 out of 10, because we're at that point where people are going to be making, January resolutions and so forth. 9 out of 10 people will fail with their resolutions. 50% of resolutions makers will fail by the end of January. And that's why, resolutions are nice, but if you could pick one word, focus on one word that you want to see expand in your life is why they're talking about this works. That's why 13 years ago, I stopped making New Year's resolutions and started picking one word for the upcoming year. No resolutions, no goals, just one word that gives meaning, mission, passion, and purpose. One word that will help me be my best. I just think that's so cool, Chrissy, and I appreciate you putting this out. I was inspired and started doing it with my family and shared it with everyone. My words over the years have been purpose, surrender, serve, pray, rise, forgive, still, connected, expand, heart, abide, power, and whole. If you're watching this and you haven't seen our wall here in our training room, it's worth to stop by just to come look at it. It's empowering just to look at that wall, don't you think? Because those are words that people really took to heart. That was their one word that they grew in their lives for that following year and so forth. So anyhow, let's talk about the one word. I warned everybody today on the huddle call. Was it today? It was today. Golly. Anyway, I said, look, what life has taught me is that when you do make a declaration that I'm going to do this, I'm going to succeed, I'm going to get in shape, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to do whatever, that it feels like life pushes back and says, are you sure about that? And speaking of that, my one word for this year has been gratitude. and it's like gratitude has grown in my heart so big. But the day that I made that declaration publicly for everybody, then all kinds of hell kind of broke loose, and I started laughing. And Connie said, "Why are you laughing?" I said, "Because this gives me a chance to really walk out what I say I want my one word to be." But I wasn't expecting to slap me the first day. As far as, are you really grateful for all this going on right now? Anyway,
my word was peace for this year, and I think everyone agrees that they needed to try to hold on to that because it was a doozy of a year. So you're right; it will challenge you, and it will make you really, look inward to grasp onto that.
My word was consistency, and because it's not easy to be consistent, like whatever you sign up for.
Yeah,
I giggle. My mom said, if you're going to sign up for the band, you're a freshman in high school, you have to play in the band for 4 years. You got to be consistent. You got to own your word. type of thing. And
That's
so
good advice.
it's been a hard journey, and I kind of talk about the journey. It's a journey to really embrace your one word and own it. If you take it seriously. And I love the book. It's like an airplane book. It's really small.
45 minutes.
Yeah, and
Yep.
it's super.
I'm a slow reader, and it's 45 minutes.
Really? There you go. Might take me 3 days, but
But see, that's why I like to listen, because then I can turn it up and listen faster.
ooh, yeah.
I'm sorry for interrupting
But it's
you.
it's a great book too, and it's really, you can do, like you said, you can listen to it or you could buy it. But it's a great book to buy, to give to others, to inspire those. So that's another fun little gift that you can give out too.
Yeah. I think the one word challenge is interesting because sometimes people say, well, like, how do I pick my word? Like, what
Yeah.
is my goal? When we're talking resolutions, we can get a little more detailed, but one word, how do you pick just one word? So I've done this the last few years since being with Music City. And I always thought about, what do I want more of, or what do I need more of, even if it's something maybe I don't like patience, what do I want more of or need more of? And I tell you what, that it will pop up into your life. So a couple years ago, my word was joy, because I felt like I was just having a really hard time, and I needed to just, any joy I could find, I just wanted to hold on to it so tight. I wanted
You're
to
the
see
torch
more
for
of it.
joy. Are you kidding me?
Not always.
Yeah.
So you're human
during,
too. You
during
are
that
so- you are
season
human
was not
too.
joyful,
Wow.
so she was looking for joy.
Yeah. Or sometimes you have to, exude joy, but you might not be feeling that,
Sure.
and so you're seeking something authentic. So that was my word that year. And I remember I actually sent this picture to Connie because I had to laugh. It was the end of the year. And I told her, I think it's working. I've had so much more joy this year than the years past. And I was on my walk at night, and there's Christmas decorations and stuff. And someone in their front yard had these giant letters, 6 foot tall, joy in their yard.
Yeah.
And I was just like, joy, there it is. It's huge. And
It's a sign.
But I was seeing it everywhere. I was seeing it in the books I was reading. It kept popping up as a topic. I saw it on, even Christmas ornaments, everything. And I know it's the time of year for it, but it just kept popping up. And it was kind of this subconscious reminder of, oh, don't forget joy. Don't forget joy. So it will challenge you, but it's also such a blessing when it's something great and it just keeps coming back into your world. So
One year I did execute because I had all these great ideas, but I needed to execute on them,
Yeah.
right? And sometimes you just have to jump in the deep end and do, right? Because we could be afraid of them, or like we talked in a previous episode, procrastinating, on doing certain things. So just jumping out and doing. So that really helped me one year as I continued to build my business, just execute. I'm working on this year. I've got a couple ideas. You talk about, Monty thought you were a very joyful human already, right?
Mostly.
Yeah. And one of my ideas that I'm thinking of this year is confidence and being confident in making some really hard decisions, and so people look at me and they're like, you're such a confident human. But it goes back to sometimes we're not, in different aspects of our life. So, how can you be, what is that one word that will help shape, your upcoming year and how you want it to look?
yeah. And if you're seeking inspiration, that wall.
Yeah, I'm
Lonnie
taking a
mentioned,
picture of it before I leave.
Man, you sit and you think, I don't really know, and you go in there, and certain things will spark ideas, and you're like, I never thought of that word. There's different things, and sometimes you think they might have a negative connotation, but maybe that's because you want less of that.
Sure.
One thing I was thinking about was the word release, because I'm kind of a control freak, and sometimes I have to allow
Let go,
something
yeah.
to be out of my control. I'm just going to release it, let it be. I'm releasing it.
That's a hard one. I'm not sure how we would survive through that.
But look inward, see what speaks to you.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah, it is. It's a great challenge. I love it. So have you decided on your word?
I haven't yet. I haven't yet. I love looking at these words though, and just being sensitive to see if something does really jump out and resonate. That's why I like going there, looking at the wall sometimes. Saying, is there something here that I'm supposed to be paying attention to? We can't all those words or what, but
Yeah.
one word, and take it really seriously about this, because that one word can totally change your life. Millions of people do this now, and you can do it for your home, you can do it for your business, you can do it for your office. Highly recommend considering embracing that, and don't wait until the following year. If you're just watching this, let's say it's March or April or May or whenever, well, I'm gonna do that in January. No, pick up where you're at. Okay, we do it annually, just simply to, okay, this is a new fresh start kind of attitude. But pick it up when you hear about this and embrace it and see what it does for you. The other thing I wanted to talk about, Chrissy, and I appreciate your willingness to do this, is that the idea of a vision board, the idea of putting something together that we can stare at and look at and resonate with and keep in front of us.
So this was something that, I mean, I do this every year. So one thing I started doing surrounding New Year's resolutions, because I didn't like the idea of just one resolution, because like, what if I failed? I can't fail, right? I'm an overachiever. I needed to be able to get that A+. So I started doing resolutions that were kind of in these different categories. So I had 5 goals for my health. I had 5 goals for my business and finance. I had 5 goals for my personal life and my home and family.
Wow.
And so then at the end of the year, I would maybe not have accomplished all 20 things I set out to do, but maybe I accomplished 8. And that was 8 more than if I had no resolution at all, or if I failed at one. So that's kind of what started this whole vision board thing in my brain. Was I started with lists, and then I started assigning visuals to that. You know, where do I want to go? What do I want my life to look like? What do I want my business to look like? You know, what are those goals? And the visuals, I think, were so helpful. So this used to be very old school for me, like a big poster board with magazine cutouts, and I still love that. But I've also started using like Canva, which is online design, right? And I do it that way because
whatever it takes to get a picture of the goal, because we don't think in words. Somebody says greenhouse, you don't think of you think of a greenhouse, you don't think of GRE,
right?
And, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think the photos are
the
really
visual.
important. You know, visual.
As we're about to approach, you know, Santa Claus is coming to town, and so I received a wish list for Santa in a PowerPoint on Canva. Yeah, with a cut and paste. Talk about vision board.
Wow.
I mean, we went all the way.
That sounds effective.
And it's, you know, Mom, it can be something like this or something like that, you know. I was like, oh my, where is our world going to?
Got a visual with it, but
and
the visuals
I do think writing, somebody taught, and maybe it was you. You've taught me a lot of things in my life. And I've known you almost 12 years now, and you've taught me a lot of things. But writing things down, right, starting there, and then seeing it. You know, I think there's something true about that. You know, and definitely connecting you with with something, and it doesn't always have to be a good. Like it could be a feeling, you know, of smiling faces and more laughter of humans, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, so I definitely, did you put your impact project on your vision board one year?
I do. Yes, it's actually on my vision board every year because there's always goals there. There's always growth there. So different things, like different goals with it, but the visual piece of it, yes. Yeah, that's definitely on there. And I'm kind of nerdy about this stuff. So I was telling you guys, I think the human brain is a really funny thing. It's kind of goofy. We can trick it, right? Like it doesn't know. We're tricking it. It's goofy. There's this thing neuroscientists studied about the visuals, and they called it value tagging. And so your brain thinks something has value because it has visually seen it, and it's seen it again and again. And if it continues to pop up, your brain's like, must be important. I keep seeing it. It doesn't know. So
like the red dress. Is that what you're saying? Like when you see like
reticular activator?
Is that what that is?
The reticular activator. I think it's something like that because your brain is silly. It doesn't know. All it knows is I keep seeing it. Must be important. And this was interesting. One of these fancy neuroscientists said the brain assigns a higher value to images rather than written words on a to-do list. And the more often it sees those, the more it moves up in importance. Wow. So I mean, I'll play games with my brain all day if that's what it needs is a picture instead of a word, like vision board all day.
Yeah. All right. Do you have a vision board?
You know, I'm going to have one this year. I'm just thinking about. I was just visioning Connie and I. You know, and what would we put on that vision board? You know,
a lot of your previous visions are coming true.
Well, yeah,
you know, which is exciting.
We have a house on the water in Florida, and she's there now full time. And we have a garden in the back, and we have a chicken coop, and we have a greenhouse, and we have the grandkids only less than 5 minutes away, and be a golf cart and. No, we're very, 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 very blessed. Very blessed.
Oh, that's awesome. That
but it started with goals.
Yeah.
It started with, you know, a plan and goals and walking those out. So here we are. We have it. It's pretty exciting.
I love that. Something else that was interesting is that our brains aren't just silly when we're awake. They're especially silly when we're sleeping. They take in all this stuff when we're sleeping. So they say if you look at that vision board right before you go to sleep, it's going to be even more effective, because if that's the last thing your brain saw before kind of checking out for the night, that's what it's going to think and dream about while you're sleeping. So like subconsciously you're reaching closer to your goals and you didn't even know it. So I think that's cool. Like nothing negative before we go to sleep. We're putting the phones away. We're putting the negative media away, all this stuff. We're going to look at our vision boards before we go to sleep, and it's going to work.
I love it.
I love both these topics, guys.
it.
One word and a vision board. Is there anything else on the vision board you want to share, Chrissy? Before we wrap this up, I want to be sensitive to people's times. I hope.
Well, and I love hearing the stories of people achieving the goals that they've had on their vision board.
Yeah.
You know, I remember a girlfriend of mine had a white farmhouse, you know, on her vision board, just randomly on there. That would be a dream one day. And they were looking for a new house, and something in White House popped up, and it was like that exact house, you know, that was on this vision board. And, you know, being able to see her achieve that dream. And she called me, should I do it? Yes, it's on the board.
Yeah.
You're doing it. It's on the board, you know. So achieving those goals. And remember to celebrate all of the victories along the way. The small victories turned into, you know, those big, grand victories, which is achieving what you have put on that vision board. So
absolutely.
I'm getting out some sort of scissors and magazines and things. It is a red Ford pickup truck with a Christmas tree in the back. So if you see CA driving around in a red Ford pickup truck, it's totally going to be me. So that's on the vision board.
Absolutely. That's what I would say. Revisit the vision board.
Why? I don't know, but it'll make me happy.
Well, see, that's the thing. Bring
me
joy.
joy.
Revisit the vision board, celebrate what you accomplished, revamp your revision board for the next year, and just kind of keep it going. But yeah, revisit it, be positive, and reach for the furthest goals that you think, you know, maybe that's out of reach. It doesn't matter. Put it on the board. You never know what you can achieve.
You're worthy of it.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Chrissy, for joining us again.
Welcome.
You are welcome anytime. You've been listening to the Talk of Music City Real Estate.